Hey there! This Soldier 76 guide on how to win your 1v1 fights is going to help you to understand and exploit different 1v1 matchups with Soldier 76 in order to maximize your chance to win. If you're playing a lot of Soldier 76 or just wonder how to beat him in certain situations, this video is for you. Let's do this. Hello guys and welcome to the dojo. Soldier 76 has been one of the most picked heroes for a while now. He provides consistent DPS for his team, combos well with popular supports, and counters some common picks that you can expect in any game. Generally speaking, he's easy to play with if your mechanics are good, but has some depth both mechanically and game sense wise that you need to learn to become good with him. He's also a good character in solo queue, as he has the mobility and self-sustain to help you get out of sticky situations. But this is not a general Soldier 76 guide. Let's get to the topic right away. We're going to see how to play different 1v1 matchups as Soldier to ensure small victories in order to win matches. The value of this video is in dissecting every encounter that you can face and giving you the best practices, tips, and tricks to get the most out of the given situation. This can be really valuable to lower SR players who don't really know what to expect from the enemy yet or how to predict different characters. But it can also be useful for those in higher ranks, as we may suggest ideas that never occurred to you how to win those 1v1 situations. Before we get to the specific matchup, we need to discuss Soldier's ability usage in 1v1 situations. Some quick words before we inspect the abilities usage for 1v1. If you have the opportunity to eliminate your opponent, do so quickly. In every other situation, it's better to play carefully and try to read the enemy and punish mistakes. You have self-sustain, great mobility, and range, so you can play around all day. Try to time your attacks when you know that the enemy's abilities are on cooldown. Try to predict when they're going to use a certain ability, dodge it, and then do a quick repose. This is the core of how you're winning 1v1 situations. By better understanding how to use your own abilities and what to pay attention to in different matchups, you can win most of your fights. Soldier 76's basic attack is heavily tracking dependent. You need to be able to comfortably track your enemy in a 1v1 situation, even if it's a tracer blinking around you. Check our Soldier drill video if you need to improve your aim. It's usually recommended to fire his gun in bursts, in small taps, to ensure that his spread is low and you can hit targets reliably. However, burst firing should only occur when you're fighting enemy on mid to long range. In every other situation, you're better off just spraying the gun, generally aiming at the neck. This not only provides more average DPS, but you won't have to pay attention to the burst firing, and should be able to concentrate on other things, like reading the enemy or dodging their shots. So the takeaway is that you're free to just hold down the button to fire and aim at general neck height in most 1v1 situations, as these are usually happening in close range. Speaking about basic attack, you should always aim at the supposed head level of the enemy, even when just roaming around. When somebody appears from behind a corner, you can tap shoot some headshots quickly and start the fight from an advantage. You should also use audio cues when the enemy is getting behind cover to predict where they're going to appear and get some free damage. These small things add up in 1v1 situations and can help you a lot to get a quick kill. Another important thing is to always keep your sights on the enemy. Even when you're retreating from your opponent, it's vital to see where the enemy aims and moves. This gives you a much better chance to stay alive when backpedaling, and gives you an opportunity to fight back immediately when you're ready to do so. Always try to have as much information about your enemy as possible in 1v1 situations. The rocket is not only good for directly hitting enemies, but can also be used to fire at some kind of terrain to do damage and displace your target. In most situations, you want to shoot right below the enemy to lift them in the air. You can use their short inability to move to predict their flight path and bump some serious damage into them. If the enemy is hiding behind cover and you know that he only has a chip of HP left, you can fire the rocket to some kind of terrain close to them to secure your kill, even to the ceiling above if you're fighting in a confined space. This should only be done if you know that the rocket can finish them. Firing the rocket and not hitting is a sure way to get yourself killed. You need to make the burst damage count. Alright, so let's continue with the sprint ability's relevance in 1v1. Sprint is a really great ability, not just to get around the map quickly, but it also helps you to juke the enemy easily. If you're low on health, just start healing and run around in random patterns to avoid enemy damage. You are a lot harder to hit when you're sprinting around. Sprint can also be used to run away from certain abilities, heal up quickly, and get back to the fight. If Genji misses his dash, for example, he's not going to be able to hunt you down with his ultimate. You can quickly hide from several abilities, then get back and fight the enemy, knowing that their stuff is on cooldown. The Biotic Field ability helps a lot to stay alive and reset 1v1 situations. You can use it when running away or right in the fight to be able to stay there more. You can out-sustain certain heroes, and this makes you a really strong dueler. A quick word about the ultimate. You should try to avoid using it in 1v1 situations. It's loud and slow to start. A good enemy will be able to predict where you're coming from and run away from you, or kill you before you can do anything. Think about a MCCREE flash, Widow headshot, Roadhog hook, etc. This ult is useful in team fights, not in single combat. Your burst with a rocket can do more damage, so use that instead. Alright, it should now be clear how to use Soldier's abilities the best way you can in 1v1 situations. Now we're going to see the top 5 hardest matchups and how to deal with them. We sadly can't cover all scenarios in this single video, but these should give you the idea about how to approach different situations and what to pay attention to. If you have your own strategies, we're eager to hear them. Share your ideas in a comment below. We're going to make sure that the good strategies are visible in the comment section for others to use. You will see how to practice these matchups. If you need practice partners, or just want to join an active Overwatch community, come to our Discord server. Click the card right now.
Challenger approaching.
Let's start with a Cyborg Ninja. A good Genji is the hardest matchup for Soldier, as he has no damage drop-off, can burst you down incredibly quickly, and bait out abilities. He is nimble and hard to track when you're jumping around. His biggest weakness is he cannot heal, meaning that you can fight a prolonged battle with them from afar to increase your chances of winning. The biggest strength of the Genji is that when he gets close to you, he can kill you in a single combo. You need to wither him down for the best results. The matchup comes down to the ability usage and how much damage you can do up front. You want to bait his deflect before you're firing your rocket. If the Genji is good with the timing, he can easily kill a Soldier with a deflected HELIX rocket. You can try to do splash damage, as it's easier to hit in most situations, aiming around the leg of the enemy. Another important thing to pay attention to is your heal timing. You are always in danger of going down to the burst damage, so healing is only beneficial if you can make sure that the Genji can't reach you for a few seconds until you heal up. We recommend using the Biotic Field when you're around half health if the Genji is far away, or when you took any damage when he's close. If he's able to come close to you, it is really hard to consistently track and damage him, so you're as good as dead usually. When the fight starts from a distance, Genji is going to try to damage you with the shurikens. You have the advantage of being a hit scan, meaning your damage is instantaneous. However, it has damage fall off if you're too far away. Use burst fire from a long distance. The shurikens are projectile, however, having travel time, so they can be dodged. When you fight Genji as Soldier, you need to pay attention to create space between you two. This way, it'll be harder for him to execute his combo. This can be done by keeping your line of sight on the Genji and continuously moving backwards while dodging his shots. The best time to try to hit a Genji is when he does a double jump. After this move, he is predictable and has nothing to modify his fall path except the dash. You can try sneaking in the rocket, but a good Genji will look for that and try to deflect it. It's important to learn how to read the enemy and try to force out bad moves and make the punishment swift and decisive. When the fight starts from close range, your best bet is to start healing as soon as you start taking damage and use the splash damage of the rocket to burst the Genji, then shoot continuously. Genji can out-damage the heal from this distance, so it's a really bad situation for Soldier. You can try to run away in zigzags and flee, or risk the fight. However, you should know that your chances of winning are low in this situation. If you have someone to practice with, start with experiencing how to dodge the shurikens from different distances. Start from far away and gradually get closer. Don't shoot yet. Concentrate on how to avoid damage. Then practice how to shoot him from different distances, even when he's jumping around you. Remember to always keep your line of sight on him and shoot continuously from close range. Lastly, you can just duel freely both in open and confined spaces. Experience how a Genji moves and acts. This should give you better chances in this matchup. You'll probably win a lot less encounters than the Genji, but don't let this frustrate you. Keep in mind that you are practicing. If you would like to accelerate your improvement, you can get coached by OverwatchDojo. Head on to the Patreon to claim your rewards.
Challenger approaching.
The next matchup is versus Tracer. Tracer players can give you a hard time if they catch you off guard. It's really hard to kill a soldier in one clip as Tracer, but still doable. Their biggest weapon is disorienting the soldier with unexpected blinks and pumping free damage into him. Your best bet is to try to start the fight from a distance, chipping down the Tracer's health. If you manage to force her recall ability, you can go really aggressive on her, and this is the time when you should use the HELIX rocket too. If you don't wait until you know that the Tracer has no recall, she can heal up any damage you do immediately and jump on you, knowing that her DPS is higher than yours. You need to pay attention to her movements, keeping the last 3 seconds in mind. This will allow you to predict where the recall will bring her back and punish it with a rocket. Make sure to use the healing aura when she's already committed to fighting you, or she's just going to blink away and force you to fight without sustain. If you start the fight when she is close to you, expect that she's going to blink behind and around you. The safest way is to shoot continuously, aiming at her neck and placing the biotic field when around half of your HP is down. This should force out a recall. Try to land a rocket on her and some headshots. This should make short work of a Tracer. You also need to try to create space between you and Tracer if you can. Backpedal while you're shooting at her, as it lowers her DPS and gives you better chances to predict her movements. She has 3 blinks to use. Try to count them and be aggressive when she's used them all. If you're fighting in a confined space, you can use the terrain to your advantage. If she's really low and tries to hide behind walls, try to shoot a rocket next to her and damage with a splash. You're generally safe to do so when she's below 1/3 of her health. When practicing 1v1 against someone else, try to experience different opponents playing Tracer on different levels. This will give you a good idea about the movement and ability patterns they're using, so you can predict an unknown enemy better. Another important thing is to practice where you can expect a blink to land. If you can learn how much you need to adjust your aim when she blinks, and how to turn around quickly and reliably when she goes behind you, you'll have an easier time eliminating her quickly. It is really frustrating for a Tracer if you're able to hit her right after the blink. You should be able to win the same amount of encounters against a Tracer player, or a bit more than that.
Challenger approaching.
Alright, the next 1v1 matchup is Soldier versus Soldier. All mirror matchups come down to skill and how well you can predict your enemy. You both know the ability kit of the character, so there should be no surprises there. These battles come down to how well you can time your abilities and force mistakes from the enemy. You will fight from mid to long range in most cases, so that's what we're going to be covering here mainly. The first and most important thing here is HELIX rocket usage. You should never use it as an opener, as the enemy soldier will be able to hide and heal up behind cover. It does 120 damage upon a direct hit, so you can decide the fight quickly if the enemy's health is below 40%. For this reason, we recommend opening the fight with burst shots to the head and rocketing the enemy at the end, securing the kill. If you can't hit directly, you can rocket below your enemy, displacing and making him predictable to sneak in some headshots. If you ate a rocket yourself, or nearly half of your HP is missing due to poke damage, it's time to drop your heal. Make sure to stay in its range and heal up as much as possible, damaging the enemy soldier if it's safe to do so. If the enemy drops his heal, just wait it out. Don't expose yourself. Then you can engage with your biotic field dropped, maximizing your advantage over the enemy. If the fight starts in close range, you can kill the enemy soldier quickly enough so the heals won't count in the fight. Shoot the head as the opener, then use the rocket while shooting around the neck continuously. If you're the one opening the fight in close range, you should win. When you're practicing this matchup, try to get a feel of how much damage you need to do before you can safely fire your rocket. Headshot and rocket the enemy from different distances without fighting. Then go against each other and try to experience different heights. Fight from low ground to high ground and vice versa. Experience fights on even ground with and without cover. You'll see that it really comes down to ability timing, not precise aiming in most cases.
Challenger approaching.
Let's inspect the matchup versus Pharah. Soldier is supposedly a hard counter to her. However, a good Pharah can overcome you when you can't dedicate your full attention to her. She needs 2 direct shots, 1 direct shot and 2 splash, or 3 splash shots to kill you. It's important to know these numbers. She can kill you in 2 seconds plus rocket travel time. Pharah's weapon is a projectile and the rockets are slow moving. This allows you to dodge the shots if you can see them coming. In case you get hit, however, the rockets will disposition you, messing up your aim. You're also very easy to predict when dislocated like that. Pay your full attention to dodging the next shots and heal up. Okay, so Pharah's greatest weapon is her raw damage and the ability to move vertically. Vertical aim can be hard, but can be improved with practice. You need to stay calm, dodge shots, and use burst firing to take her down. Note that a Pharah can also try to dodge left and right or drop sharply to try to disorient you. When the fight starts from a distance, you can dodge more easily, however your damage will have a fall off. A good Pharah will try to use the terrain to protect her from damage, moving in and out of cover. You can relocate quickly when she disappears to get a better angle on her. Shoot in small bursts, resetting your accuracy. The first few shots are 100% accurate, and the following 2 to 3 are pretty consistent too. It's really important that whatever you do, keep your eyes on the Pharah. This will allow you to know where to dodge and when to shoot. You can try landing your rockets on her, but direct hits are hard in this matchup. Try to look for a surface where she's heading and use your rockets for splash damage. This is a lot more reliable. You can also try to keep the rockets until she descends, and land the rocket to the point where she lands. Middle distance is your best position against Pharah. Your damage has no fall off here, however the rockets will have shorter travel time too. If she enters close range from this situation, just shoot her continuously and try to land your rocket. When she's attacking you from close distance, decide if you can land your rockets reliably on her or not. If you can burst her down and land headshots, she goes down before you do. If you can't directly hit her reliably, then just run away to middle distance and fight from there. It's okay to turn around and sprint in zigzags to the nearest cover to lose the line of sight. Pharah can hit you easily from close range, and her raw DPS outperforms yours. Get yourself a Pharah partner and hop into a custom game. First of all, you need to practice vertical aiming. Ask your buddy to move around in the open, and then use the terrain for protection and shoot in bursts. Then switch the roles and try to dodge her shots from different distances. When you've practiced the basics and feel confident enough, do free practice against each other. You should be able to win more encounters than the Pharah player.
Challenger approaching.
Okay, the last matchup we're covering is against MCCREE. Soldier is stronger in all scenarios except close range, as MCCREE can stun and kill you quickly if you get too close. It's easier for you to hit him than for him to hit you, and your DPS is higher than his. When the fight starts from mid to long range, make sure that you're using your self-sustain to win the fight. You can safely trade poke damage, as he won't be able to heal it up. Use the rocket freely for splash damage, displacing your enemy and throwing off their aim. If you don't play too badly and avoid getting close to him, you should win every fight. When the fight starts in close range, your best bet is to retreat to a safer distance. If you really want to fight, open with a rocket and pump damage into the MCCREE, praying for a mistake on his part. He should be the one winning these encounters most of the time. When fighting against a MCCREE, try to experience fighting behind cover. His DPS can be higher if he dodges behind terrain, so make sure to know how to land your initial primary shots to the head when he's coming out of cover. You can try experiencing close quarter combat, but it'll be hard to win every one. That's about all we could fit in a single video about 1v1 situations with Soldier. Tell us if you're interested in other matchups in a comment, or have any strategies to share that you're using in your games. If you like what we're doing here, please make sure to like, favorite, comment, share, and subscribe if you have not already. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
This time we'll have to join forces.